Hey designers! In this video, I run through the most popular majors you should think about if you want to get into UI or UX. So whether you're in high school right now, or if you're in college and you're not sure what to study, this video is made specifically for you. Stick around until the end, even if you're not sure if you want to go to college, because I'll share with you a few different alternatives to college if you want to get into UI or UX without spending all that dough. I want to take a few seconds to thank everyone for helping me reach 100 subscribers. This is a really big milestone for me, and I can't wait to tell my mom.
Mom, I have reached 100 subscribers today on YouTube. Can you react? On YouTube, you know my channel?
No,
With that, let's get started. So if you're new to the channel, the handoff focuses on how to get started in UX and what you need to do to land your first job in the industry or become a better designer. Each week, I release new videos, so keep up to date by subscribing and clicking the bell icon to get notified when new videos get released. So I want to start by sharing with you guys a bit of my story so you won't make the same mistakes as me. Back in high school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to study, so I ended up wanting to major in music because I could play a few different instruments and also play Smoke on the Water on my guitar. The only schools that accepted me were the ones that took me in as part of their business program. So in college, I started out as a business major, and I ultimately tacked on a computer science and math degree. After college, I worked as a software engineer for a bit, and then ultimately pivoted into design after a few years. For a lot of designers, the path to becoming one usually isn't very linear, and instead it looks a little more like this. So keep that in mind throughout the rest of this video. Not everyone's journey is going to look the same, and in fact, you probably don't want it to either. I encourage you to take classes in some of the other fields as electives if you're already committed to one, as it will make you more of a well-rounded designer and help you learn about other fields, and ultimately help you stand out when you start applying for internships and jobs. So the first set of majors is psychology or research-based. Psychologists want to understand our brain functions and behaviors. In particular, understanding this human behavior is useful when it comes to UX design, because learning about people's perception, memory, and their attention spans affect how those people will interact with a product you design. In particular, the parts of psychology that are most relevant here are neuroscience, cognitive and social psychology, and engineering psychology. The research aspect of psychology will also translate across into user research. Learning about different heuristics and biases will help you design products that help guide people to the right decisions and actions without frustrating them. A lot of the studies that you'll learn about will help you understand how to design studies and conduct user research, and ultimately allow you to present your findings to others more easily. Very closely related is the field of anthropology. Anthropologists study humans in communities or their cultures. This is a study of humans in a wider sense than psychologists who study individuals. During their studies, they collect data and study it to gain insights and understanding of people, much like user research. They're great at making connections from data, which user researchers need to be able to do so as well. If you want to go down this route, I'd recommend focusing more on cultural or psychological anthropology, as opposed to linguistic or biological anthropology. So the next set of majors is for someone who wants to mainly go down the design track. For anyone who's predominantly visually design-oriented, when you study graphic design, you're learning how to communicate with visual content. Graphic design is a versatile skill that's extremely useful, ranging from the ability to design infographics, to interactive charts, to diagrams, to illustrations. Graphic designers tend to have a pretty easy transition into the field of UI design, because you'll already have a good understanding of visual hierarchy and typography, which will translate well into designing visual interfaces and digital products. If you're interested in majoring in graphic design, you might need to remember to put your users first and learn the requirements and constraints under which you're building. You'll also want to learn how to prototype and test with low-fidelity mockups, rather than spending lots of time making precise, detailed designs immediately, which you may be more accustomed to. Another design field is the field of industrial design. Industrial design is really similar to what you'd be doing as a product designer or a UI UX designer, but with an emphasis on physical products. Almost every object that you come across in your daily life, whether it be your glasses, a sponge, or even a shower curtain, has been thought about and designed very carefully. Industrial designers combine both art and business. There's quite a bit of overlap when it comes down to the design process because they think about their users and the functionality of the products, which is actually very similar to what you'd be doing as a UI or UX designer. This is a good major choice if you're more interested in designing physical products or products that have more of a physical element to them. So if you're certain that you want to go into UX, pursuing a user experience design degree sounds like the most straightforward approach. However, very few colleges and universities offer a bachelor's in UX, so you should look out for titles such as experience design, human-computer interaction, or interaction design. If you want to pursue this route, there's a lot of things to consider here. The field of UX is super broad, so if you want to go down this route, I would suggest you focus on 1 or 2 areas of specialization if you want to work in a particular role out of college. Otherwise, if you want to become more of a generalist, I would recommend that you take as many courses in other subjects and fields so that you can become more of a well-rounded designer. From what I've seen, students that only come out of HCI or UX program having only taken UX courses and nothing else are at a disadvantage compared to others who have knowledge in a variety of different areas. So if you want to focus on the UI or UX of video games, pursuing a degree in game design or development is great for someone who's interested in applying design principles to the gaming industry. The gaming industry is growing each and every year, so this is a really cool field to get into if you enjoy gaming, the artistic side of things, and want to learn some of the applied technical skills necessary for designing for video games. So although the fields of computer science and engineering aren't directly related to UX design, majoring in CS or CE will help you understand the technical requirements and constraints of what you're designing, especially because designers have to work closely with engineers when handing off their designs to be built. Understanding the code and the limitations of what can and can't be built is useful when designing applications. This can save you a lot of time and headache when you work with developers. If you're interested in both design and development, I would recommend looking into product design jobs or even UX engineering jobs, where you'll be the liaison between the two functions or be able to design and code. If you plan on pursuing a CS degree, definitely take classes in design, because having both skill sets is extremely valuable and will make you highly sought after. So I just listed off 7 top majors to pursue if you want to work in design after college. To list off a few other majors I've seen others come out of college with, I've seen designers study English and literature, architecture, communications, business, marketing, information science, and art history. These are definitely less common than the 7 I mentioned, but it can be a good way to stand out if you're building core skills at the same time. If you want to pursue one of these majors, I'd recommend that you do your own research and, of course, take classes in some of these other programs and fields I mentioned earlier in the video, as they'll make you a stronger and a more well-rounded designer. So what if you're not interested in going to college? That's not a problem. Let's talk about some of the alternatives to college degrees if you want to get into UI or UX. Online courses and certifications are a really popular option. Some online courses are free through platforms such as edX or LinkedIn Learning. You can complete certifications through platforms such as Coursera or actual universities and colleges as well. One thing to keep your eye on is Google's 6-month certificate program. They designed which is supposed to be the equivalent to a full degree. Some other notable certifications include the UX certification with the Nielsen-Norman Group. I'm dropping a link to both of these programs in the description box if you want to learn more about them. Aside from online classes and certifications, you can also look into boot camps too. I won't be going into depth on boot camps because that's too big of a topic to cover in this video, but I'll be releasing a video on boot camp shortly, so click the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when it comes out. So that's the video. I'm curious where you guys are in your design journey or what you're studying if you're in college already. If you guys have any questions about college majors or getting into UX, drop a comment down below. I want to hear your stories. I post about everything UI and UX related to help you land your first design job or up your design game. I'm looking forward to sharing more content like this, so thanks for checking out this video and I'll see you in the next one.